and I lost it all. This is all your fault. You should make up all that money for me. Why won't you stand behind your picks? All right, how would you respond?
Well, I stand behind every pick I send out. I have money on it as well. But at the same time, your mortgage shouldn't be the one unit that I would request or recommend you to play. You can never bet more than you're, can really afford to lose. So you have to stay within your limits of your bankroll. And, you can't go outside of that. Discipline is key to betting. It's key to any form of earning an income, be it your job or for fun in placing a bet on a game. So, unfortunately, you have to learn some lessons the hard way, and that would pretty much be the hard lesson. But I can help you get back that money by discipline and money management.
My wife left me. I expect you to replace her after I lost this last bet.
Well, I can refer you to some pretty decent dating websites, but I don't know if I can personally handpick someone in her place for you.
Yeah, that's a good one. You could recommend, and if she took the kids, you could recommend a good adoption agency. Yeah, that's one thing you should do is, get those type of places advertising you, so that like if those
I'm gonna have to reach out to OkCupid and Plenty of Fish and see if they want to advertise. I got some free space on my my website. So
yeah, for every 15 matches you create, you get $1,000 or something like that.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. I'd have to add matchmaker to my business cards with that one though. Yeah.
Well, and with that, you could do like predictions on the website of whether that relationship will end up working.
Well, you want to actually really know something pretty funny on OkCupid, and I'm a younger dude. I'm single. I've been on these dating sites. They're mostly baloney, but OkCupid in particular actually has the reason I like that site was because they had these number projections of like if you're a match or if you're an enemy or like if you're just going to be friends. And I always thought that was fast. I mean, obviously I'm in the numbers being a handicapper, so I always thought that was like kind of fascinating. Like, maybe I could try and make some kind of like a model to see if these numbers really pan out as high as they say they do. So
yeah, I've always found it interesting. When how they have like those. You have to fill out those questionnaires or whatever before getting on the site. I'd always find it interesting, like answer the questions to the worst of your ability. Like, if you go on, even if you're applying for a job or something,
yeah.
How much of those, questionnaires are actually looked at in, putting together a qualified candidate for a job or for if you answered them to the worst of your ability on a dating website, who else would have answered them to the worst of their ability and see what kind of people, like say like, oh, do you like children? And like one of the options is, no, I hate children. I wish they would die. That's like, they have like really extreme answers. And then you wind up getting like matched up with like, a dictator from, South America or something like that. It's like,
right. Yeah.
If you put the most extreme answers, who you would get matched up with and how horrible those people must be if you were joking.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, yeah, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of pets, and it seems like every woman in the world is basically. So I've tried that, and I haven't really noticed any difference. I mean, like I said, it's just kind of one of those universal things where it's just like, oh yeah, like you don't really dislike pets. It's like, well, not really a fan. But so I guess I don't know. I'd have to maybe test that model out with that and see where exactly those numbers go. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, everything's a numbers game when you break it down. So it's no different trying to find a match on a website than it would be to pick a winner. I personally think it's a little easy to pick winners, but yeah, I mean, it's all number based,
Well, here's a numbers thing. Who do you think has more liars? per, I guess, capita. Twitter,
No.
because Twitter, it's like everybody's a millionaire on Twitter. At least that's the way they make it sound. And then on dating websites, which one do you think has more lies?
Ooh, now that's interesting. I would have to say Twitter, because I feel like a lot of people expect lying on a dating website, and so they try to go almost out of their way to be a little too honest with certain things. But yeah, like you said, everybody on Twitter, I mean, you know, I'm a pretty honest person in everything I do. If I were to lie on Twitter, I'd say, you know, I'm married to Ronda Rousey, and like you said, I have like $4 billion sitting in the bank and, you know, somewhere in Monaco. But, you know, it's just not the case. And so I think Twitter, there's a lot of BS on Twitter. There's a lot of negative people. There's a lot of great people on Twitter. And I love Twitter, not only just as a social media fan, but, you know, from what I do as a business. But there's a lot of just negativity and garbage on Twitter as well.
Well, and there's a lot of things out there. Like when before Twitter, whenever I'd get a story on Google or CNN.com or something about Nicolas Cage, it'd be like, oh, okay. You know, Nicolas Cage owns a pyramid or something like that. Like,
right.
Nick Cage is bankrupt. Now when I see something about Nicolas Cage on Twitter, it's like, yeah, that sounds far-fetched even for a Nick Cage story. And that's the unfortunate Twitter.
Yeah, or Nicolas Cage up for an Oscar. That would also be a pretty far-fetched one there too. But yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, there's a lot of even Facebook's turned into that now. Where you see these stories, it's like there was one story floating around about like, the Heat has been suspended from the NBA for what they tried to do to LeBron James before he left. It's like, okay, that doesn't even make sense on like many levels. Like the league would not suspend the team for something there's no link to it. I think it links up to like something to try and, you know, eat up all your, you know, credit card numbers and whatever. But it's just, like you said, there's a lot of just trash online and, you know.
This is the unfortunate thing, is there's too many websites that try to be like The Onion. That,
oh, yeah.
You know, like The Onion's funny, and they have a reputation of, okay, yeah, this is satire, this is going to be funny. And these other websites, it's like, since nobody knows what these websites are, like I think Empire Sports is one of them, all these people take it seriously, and then they post it on their Facebook, and then all of a sudden there's, you know, 40,000 comments on one story saying, oh my God, Peyton Manning threw the Super Bowl, or, you know, him and Pete Carroll had an idea of throwing the Super Bowl, so that must be true just because it's on the internet and it's not on The Onion.
Yeah, right. You know, and it's insane, you know, and I think there should be some kind of, you know, like even with Twitter has a lot of parody accounts, but the rule is you have to list that it's a parody account on your description. Otherwise you'll get in trouble with Twitterverse, I guess. But there should be a way where you do that, you know, with websites too. Like you have to list, but then at the same time, it's just like, well, I guess all of our common sense should kick in too. You know, so it goes both ways.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take our first break of hour number 2. If you want to call in after the break, the number is 585-633-7487. I'm here with Alex B. Smith. We'll be right back on the Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
Joan Jett, you know. Woke up to some wailing, was Van Halen on my radio. Parachute pants, skinny ties, Michael J. Fox, family ties. 1984. Radio, radio, radio. Radio, shit, Nirvana was cool and maybe Pearl Jam, but that was it. Give me Springsteen, rock and roll, Cheap Trick, not Oingo Boingo. Hey, Joey Ramone, leave Michael Jackson at home. Radio, 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 radio. Radio, 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 radio. One-hit wonders, they all were stars. Billy Joe, the alarm, boombox hanging on my arm. Radio, 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 radio.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Welcome back to the Bob Sullivan Show here on latenightsportsradio.com. Back with Alex Smith from axsmithsports.com and kellyanvegas.com. For whatever reason, Alex, I don't know why we cannot get away from this these weather discussions we have. It's just, I think it's a Midwest thing.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely.
But I did want to talk to you about the college football playoff and, kind of predicting college football. Right now, who are the favorites in Vegas to make it to the college football playoff this week?
Well, the four teams that seem to really be, I think, the consensus picks for this week, thinking that, Tuesday we'll have the college football committee will meet and release their current model for the 14 playoff. Of course, you still have Florida State in that mix. They're the defending champs. They're still number one in the country, still undefeated. The thing about Florida State is games are getting tougher and tougher for them to win. They should have lost, in my opinion, to Louisville 2 weeks ago. They made that miraculous comeback in the second half. Now there's this whole rumor saying that Jameis Winston was shaving points in that first half. I don't believe that, but they pulled out the win at Louisville, and then last night they beat Virginia in a game that a lot of Vegas and everyone expected to be a blowout. It was 34-20. They kept it close. The Cavaliers covered the number there. So Florida State, they're in that mix, but they're only a 2-point favorite against Miami this week. A lot of people think the Hurricanes are going to try and upset them. That's a much hated rivalry. Those two teams have had their histories with the whole wide left, wide right